Okay, so today we're doing a deep dive into Tamiya's amazing archive of off-road RC models. We're tracking their whole history of Jeep-like vehicles.
Right, and that's a pretty broad category for them. It goes way beyond just the Jeep brand itself. We're talking Mitsubishi, Toyota, Ford, lots of icons.
And what really jumps out, at least to me, is how Tamiya seems to have these two, completely separate ideas about what these models should be.
That's exactly it. It's like a core duality in their design philosophy. You've got the comical or character models on one hand.
Yeah, the fun ones, built for stunts, doing wheelies.
Pure entertainment, basically. And then on the other hand, you have the scale realism models.
Which are all about looking and acting just like the real thing. Super detailed, functional.
High fidelity replication. And tracing those two paths, well, it shows a really interesting technical story, too.
You mean how they actually built them? Like the chassis evolution.
Exactly. They started out making, a totally unique chassis for basically every single model kit. One model, one chassis.
Oh, must have been expensive.
I imagine so. But later, they shifted to these much more efficient, adaptable platforms. Standardized parts, chassis used across multiple models, that really changed the hobby.
Okay, so let's trace that. Where does the comical side really begin?
That's got to be the 1982 Wild Willy Willys M38. Kit number 58035, that's the archetype.
The one with the cartoonish driver figure?
That's him. It was totally character-driven. And the vehicle itself, it was a purpose-built 2WD stunt machine.
Purpose-built how?
Well, they engineered it with a really high center of gravity, and they stuck the battery way out back.
To make it want to tip back.
Precisely. Just guaranteed it would pop a wheelie whenever you punched the throttle. It wasn't meant to handle well, it was meant to perform that one trick.
That's brilliant, actually, and I think I read somewhere the original had two versions for collectors.
That's right. There was the initial short wheelbase, the SWB, and then later they released a long wheelbase, or LWB, version.
Why the change? Just a running update.
It was actually Tamiya's first real hint at standardization, I think. They stretched the wheelbase just enough so they could share suspension parts and other bits with the new rally car chassis they were working on, like for the Audi Quattro. Early parts commonality.
Smart. And the Wild Willy came back later, didn't it?
It did, the Wild Willy 2 in 1999. But by then, it was on their modern WRO2 platform.
Which is their current, dedicated wheelie chassis.
Yep. And interestingly, the body was subtly different, closer to a Ford M151 MUTT, which actually succeeded the M38 Willys in real life. Probably a licensing thing.
Okay, so if the Willys was all about pure engineered fun,
yeah,
what made Tamiya pivot so hard towards scale realism in the mid-90s?
That shift, that gave us probably one of the most legendary RC platforms ever, the CC01. Cross country.
The CC01. Everyone knows that one.
It debuted with the Mitsubishi Pajero in 1993, kit 58132. Then the Jeep Wrangler in 94 really cemented it.
And this was totally different from the Wild Willy setup.
Oh, completely. The CC01 was full-time 4WD, had independent front suspension, but a solid rear axle. It was designed from the ground up for scale trail driving. Realism was the goal.
And Tamiya got really clever with using the parts from these more realistic kits, didn't they?
Yeah.
Maximizing efficiency.
You see this especially with the body shells. Take that Mitsubishi Pajero hard body. Super detailed, expensive tool to make.
Right.
They used it on the scale CC01 platform, naturally. But then, they also mounted that exact same body onto the CW01 chassis.
The monster truck chassis.
Oh.
The wheelie one.
That's the one. They created the Mitsubishi Montero wheelie in 2011. So they hit the scale crowd and the comical stunt crowd using the same body investment.
That's really smart business, appealing to both sides.
Masterclass. And the Jeep Wrangler is another case study, but in specialization.
How so?
Well, you got the standard Wrangler on the CC01 for general trail driving, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they also released a version on their dedicated CR01 rock crawler chassis. Much more articulation, aimed at extreme crawling performance. Same vehicle, different chassis, different niche.
So the CC01 really dominated that scale scene for a long, long time, decades.
Usually 25 years. It was the go-to Tamiya scale platform. Which brings us to its successor, the CC02.
Introduced around, 2019?
That sounds about right. It was a necessary generational leap, really. Scale expectations had moved on.
What makes the CC02 more realistic?
Definitely. It features a proper ladder frame chassis, much like a real truck. And it has 4-link solid axle suspension front and rear. That's what modern scale enthusiasts were asking for.
And we've seen some big new releases on that CC02 platform.
For sure. The new Ford Bronco 2021 was a huge launch on it. And they also updated the classic Toyota Land Cruiser 40 for the CC02 as well. Real flagships.
Looking back, though, the CC01 had such a run. So many cool bodies.
Absolutely. Think about the Suzumu or the really iconic Mercedes-Benz G320 Cabrio, all CC01 legends.
And they even shrunk the scale trail idea down, right, with the Suzuki Jimny.
Yeah, that was clever. They put the Suzuki Jimny body on their smaller MF-01X chassis. It's still 4WD, still capable, just compact scale, very popular kit.
So it's this really compelling story, this evolution, from the pure character fun of the Wild Willy in the 80s.
Right, engineered for wheelies.
All the way to today's super high fidelity, realistically performing scale models like the CC02 Bronco, but all kind of stemming from that same basic Jeep-like utility vehicle idea.
It's a fantastic lineage. But the story isn't quite finished, is it? There's a recent twist.
Oh, what's that?
Look at the Mitsubishi Pajero they just re-released in 2023. Kit 58727.
Okay, another Pajero.
Yes, but look what chassis it's on. It's the CW01, the comical wheelie chassis.
Ah, like the Montero wheelie before.
Exactly, but with one key difference. They didn't put the usual oversized monster truck tires on it this time.
Oh, what then?
They give it proper scale-accurate tires that look right for a Pajero.
So, it's a wheelie chassis, but with scale looks. A kind of hybrid.
Precisely. A scale comical blend. It wants to look real, even while doing stunts.
Huh. That's interesting.
It is. So the provocative thought for you, the listener, is this. What does this blending, this desire for scale accuracy, even on the fun platforms, tell us about where Tamiya and maybe the whole RC hobby is heading? Something to think about.